Welcome back. It's time for another edition. The Advantage Line, your one-stop shop for all things NRL and rugby league. And once again, I'm joined in studio by the Warriors' number 2 fan, Carl Tiley.
Kia ora. How we doing?
Good. Got through the week okay so far, Carl?
So far, so good. Still standing, Paul. Disappointing result last week at the club rooms. Oh, sorry, at Mount Smart. The club rooms were rocking.
They certainly were.
I'm sure.
Great place to be when the Warriors are playing.
Might get into that a little bit later, but yeah, no, up and about. Ready for another week of, as you say, rugby league.
Fantastic. And we were joined at the TAB club rooms at Mount Smart last Friday night by our good friend Surly. Surly, how are you going after that? I don't think it was a bad performance by the Warriors. They put up a good fight.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty gutsy performance. Didn't come away with the win, and the Storm certainly weren't at their best. But yeah, another effort in the jersey that I think the boys can be proud of. I tell you what, speaking of the TAB club rooms, a few punters in there can throw a pretty nice spiral. So a few people won some bonus bets pretty easy, but it was a bloody good night.
I got the number back of how many bonus bets we gave away. It was a lot. So
yeah,
look, keep an eye out for some more ticket opportunities for next week's game, folks. If you want to come and not even win bonus bets, just you take them.
We probably needed Blake there to put the big coat hanger up to stop a few of those punters from getting bonus bets. We had a very leaky defense last Friday in the club rooms, and the bonus bets were flying left, right, and centre. So once again, Blake's with us. You couldn't make it last Friday, Blake.
No, I couldn't. Bit disappointed, but then again, waking up, on a Saturday morning and looking at you boys, probably just leaving the cast at about 6 a.m. So it was good to not be there then. Obviously missed the game, but it was still good to watch the boys have a crack in the jersey at Mount Smart. And I'm sure the TAB club rooms once again will be bumping next home game.
Just speaking of that game, I remember Surly's same game multi, where he took the Warriors, I think, plus 19.5, Grant to score a try, Hughes to score a try, and unfortunately Montoya to score a try, and that was paying $51.
Tell you what, at one stage there, when Walshy threw that floater and no one went for it, and it floated right in front of Marcelo's face, I thought, there goes my bet, and I was almost in tears. It was only early doors as well, but just had a feeling.
He would have got a bonus bet though for getting 3 legs out of the 4, so it wasn't all tears, spilt milk. But let's start off with some positive news, and the Tigers. The Tigers are back, and they are back big time. That was a huge win to go up north of the border and spank the Broncos by 13 or more. Blake, you must be looking ahead to next season with a spring in your step.
I was just about to ask, Paul, is the 2023 market up yet?
It is not.
I think
it's not. Okay, yeah, because surely
we usually wait for the 2022 season to finish, and then we throw the 2023.
I'm just too excited, mate. It was such a good win because the Broncos started to pull away at the end of the first half. Or look like they were going to and get dominant, and then just before halftime, when the Tigers scored. And then the start of that second half, that's something you haven't seen in the last, maybe 2-3 years. And once we say it again, Adam Dewey. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he's definitely got the 6 jersey next year. Who partners him? Well, I'll leave that up to you, gentlemen. I don't really know.
Well, Surly, that'll be very interesting because Jock Madden has certainly thrown his hand up. I don't know what his contract scenario is at the moment with the Tigers, but does Brooks come back in? Has he played his last game for the Tigers? As Blake says, Dewey's got the 6 wrapped up, or do they bring Hastings back into the halves next season because they've got a few other recruits coming in the forward pack? So what happens, Surly?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think definitely either Brooks or Hastings has played their last game for the Tigers. So, yeah, watch how it all unfolds. But if it was up to me, I'd probably bring Hastings back rather than Brooks. I think him and Dewey would be a solid pairing, and then Hastings offers a bit more versatility as well, and he's just a bit more of a competitor. I reckon he inspires the guys around him, but it's going to be interesting to watch. And look, as a Warriors fan, I wouldn't mind, like Blake said, opening up that 2023 market and let's get on early.
I saw doing the rounds on socials. This had me in tears. It was very funny. The video from the sheds, the Tigers sheds after the game, and singing the team song, or Robbie Farah was singing the team song, banging on the drums, and he's singing it line by line, and the rest of the team following it after him because no one in the team knows the song.
No,
Oh,
it is a line by line song, but no one else could lead it. I don't think you are correct there. It's been a long time between drinks, Carl. It has been.
do you know it, Blake?
No, I've got a real bad memory. So I never led. I always needed someone like a nursery rhyme. I'll sing along with you after you sing the first one.
Well, if Brooks is surplus to requirements, would you take him, Carl?
For the Warriors.
Yeah, well, they're not
No.
using Volkman. They're not using Arcee. They've currently, in this week, they've thrown Egan into the halves. Would you take Brooks if he was available?
No.
Wow.
Also got Tomato Martin, Luke Metcalf also signed as a halfback for next year.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors have a number of halves. They do not need any more.
They've got Sean Johnson as well.
They do. The Prince will have the number 7 jersey next year. So no, I wouldn't take him as a Warriors fan or Warriors management, which I am not. But
Surly's,
I don't know where he goes.
Surly's a wee bit closer to the action.
Yes, yeah, he's got much more.
Maybe he's got nothing for us.
I wouldn't take Brooks. I think we've got one roster spot left with, as it currently stands. There's been whispers around Ali Katoa possibly departing, but yeah, I think we've got one spot left currently. So I'd be going up front looking at some propping stocks. I don't think we need another half. We've got plenty of those.
Really?
Is Ali Katoa going to turn into the Iceman Part 2? Blake?
I find that very hard to believe. I mean, the Iceman is it quite possibly he could be, but look, maybe further down the track, I think the Iceman was, well on his way here. He just never got that showing, and then once he got over there, it's new scenery, new scenario. Could well be, Paul, but I don't think so. Not the same length that the Iceman's done.
They've just announced the signing of a new assistant coach this morning.
Yes, they have.
This afternoon. I don't know if we've discussed that.
Yeah.
You guys might have discussed that before I joined the studio.
Was he assistant at Samoa?
Good question. Is he? He's
He's come over from, wasn't
Super
the UK?
League. Yeah. Had head coach roles with Hull FC, the Wakefield Wildcats, Warrington, Leeds, and is their current assistant at Samoa. Richard Agar.
Yeah, I think Surly actually came with that news. So it's a pretty crowded coaching box to start next season, Surly. Are they keeping what have you heard? You can tell the Advantage Line listeners because you know that they are avid Warriors fans.
Yeah, I didn't know about this one until it came into my email inbox. So the old rumor mill's gone cold, but 3 assistant coaches, I don't know, seems a bit fishy to me. So possibly we see one go, although maybe not. Maybe we go for a fully stacked assistant coaching panel. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I'm sure Blake has a few opinions on this and a couple theories which he might want to share.
Oh, I mean, you throw me in the deep end like that, Surly. I think on my toes here. Look, you can't. I don't think you can have 3. I know usually they have one for defense, one for attack. What is someone going to run the last tackle? It's not American football. We don't need a special teams
They probably
coach.
could, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I think someone will go, but then again, I'm not in that system, so they might keep all 3. But Webby might need it. New coach, new head coach, so it might be good to have all 3 bouncing off each other.
I guess 2 Andrews are better than 1.
So as I said, Blake said he's not in that system. I thought you were earlier in the week when Cappy got announced, and your photo was front and center of the email that came out of it. Oh, hello, the big fella's back.
Yeah, I mean, I was very keen when I was tagged in a lot of photos, and I said, "Oh, something's happened here." It's either the Mike Acevo fend off, or it's I'm back somewhere. So, yeah, I thought I was a chance. Maybe we never know. You know, we've lobbied for myself to go back to the Tigers. Maybe this could be the return for the Warriors. I don't know. The phone line's open.
With Cappy back in the mix, I think your chances have gone up big time.
Either way, you're playing in a grand final next year, so it's happy days.
Who's at the Papamoa Bulldogs?
Oh,
But just still on the Warriors, and I thought it was a very brave performance by the Warriors on Friday night up against us. I know the Storm haven't been playing well, but I think to hold them to just 24 points, I think that was a good. And I thought it was great to see Kossi cross the line 3 times. But how does Big Nelson not get in? What it was basically, was there a penalty awarded? That was it.
Yeah,
There was no
on report, nothing from the match review committee. He should be in jail. He almost ripped Egan's face off with that elbow drop. Something straight out of the WWE. Before that too, he smoked someone else in the head about down the other end of the field and got penalised as well. We were in the club rooms, Paul, and we had the CEO, Cam George, sitting with us at the time. Very passionate man.
He is.
For the listeners out there, he was, I think, Craig Bellamy in the coaching box. That's what he was doing in the TAB club rooms, spraying the glass, walking back and forth. Good to see.
He couldn't sit down, could he?
No.
No.
But Nelson, disgusting that he hasn't gotten anything for it. I can't believe that. I really can't.
Shirley, you've got any sort of theories behind how Nelson has got away with this pretty much scot-free?
yeah. Oh, it's beyond me. What, forceful contact with intent to the head, whole body weight coming down directly on his face. He cracked Egan's teeth. Gets nothing. Dale Finucane, accidental head knock, gets 2 weeks, and people were calling for more. It's just crazy. I think Nelson's been cited this is the 4th time this year. The other 3 times he's come away with fines, so he hasn't been suspended. And then this time he got off scot-free. It's hardly like he's got the cleanest record. It's just crazy. And then I think King got away with that eye gouge as well. He got nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously not a lot in that, but the Bulldogs bloke got 5 weeks, I think, for pretty similar, to be fair. So I thought he might have got a week or 2, but nothing there. So, yeah, the judiciary hates the Warriors.
Like, is this sort of like what Todd Payton was saying earlier on in the season? The teams at the top of the table certainly get a number of calls go their way, and not just 50-50 calls. We're talking about judiciary calls now, talking about, oh, we'll just put you on report. You're not going for 10. Whereas teams towards the bottom end of the table, you do commit any sort of indiscretion, look out, you're going to pay for it.
It could have been the point, but then, like, I think Nathan Cleary getting the 5 weeks, takes away from that point about the teams getting that preferential treatment. But I do feel like there's other teams that get more leniency than others. And I think, look, we went from 1 week. Surly just said it, the Finucane tackle. We went from rugby union to bare knuckle fist fighting, like on the weekend. Like that's the extremes we've gone to. And if it's not the bunker, it's the match review committee. I mean, look, it's clear to see, and I just don't know what they were looking at. But anyway, like, back on the Warriors though, like, apart from that, like, I just want to give the Warriors like all the kudos for that game, because you could tell they were on when I think Meaney scored that try and, kicked back in from Anderson. Shawnee was there, who's run from the other side of the field to be in that and almost stop a try. And you could just tell that when they come out smart, or this end of the season, they're really starting to lift. I think, if we had kicked those goals and converted those goals, that could possibly have turned into a win, because you're 6 points down and the Storm start to think, look, we've lost 4. Now we're on the verge of losing 5. The Warriors could have put more pressure on. So I think those goals really hurt our chances, but the effort that they put in, man, like it's going to be a long, it's going to be a tough road for teams to come and beat them. at Mount Smart or further on for the rest of this year, I think.
The goals, that's Searley's fault. He said at the start of the game that SJ was on
Yeah.
and he missed them all. So
I
that's on Searley.
Was
He
any
did-
of this on the
I don't know
weekend?
who's doing that at the club room.
He did say though that he when he tried to save that meanie tackle and he hit the fence, he didn't feel too good after that. That's why he gave up the kicking duties. It wasn't a lack of confidence. So keep faith in the Prince. He'll be back.
He's good, man. He's playing some good footy.
Yes. Told yous. I told yous.
Well, we've pretty much already discussed the new additions to the coaching staff of the Warriors for next season. And Tamari Martin, as you mentioned, is on his way on a 3-year
3
deal.
years. That's pretty good.
What does Stacey do for the rest of the season? I think he's showing his card a wee bit because surely.
I saw someone on, I think it was Twitter, put that something along the lines of, Stacey's out of ideas. He's now just put all the names of the available players into a hat, and he's just picking them out 1 to 13. I don't know. This week's team's it's a bit funny. I think the backline. I like the backline. Finally see Aitken in the centres. Whether or not he actually starts there is a different question, but I can't see that starting pack starting for me. I know it's injuries to others have forced his hand a little bit, but I still can't see that being the makeup of the pack at kickoff.
Shirley, any whispers about that's definitely that's not going to be the starting 13. It's just Stacey's written them down, but he's got a plan. He's got another plan.
No whispers. I'd like to see. Hopefully, Curran comes back into start because I'm not sure on the benching of him. And just for me, like if we're going to try and avoid that spoon, we need to win at least 1 or 2 more games just to feel real comfortable about it. So I think that's the goal from here on out, is to make sure that we don't get the spoon. And then also, if we're going to go complete focus for next year, then do it properly. We've got Murchie starting. He's not signed for next year at the moment. We've got guys playing that are departing. So you've got to go one of the 2 ways. We roll out our strongest team and we try avoid the spoon, or we go full focus for next year. But I'd still be going the strongest team. I'd have Curran in there starting.
Talking of bad tackles, let's just go back to that Tigers game. The Carrigan hip drop. That was almost a textbook hip drop on Hastings.
It's one of the great segues, Paul.
Oh, well, a number of listeners enjoy the heat between you and Blake, so why not just turn it up with me as well?
Someone in the club room actually came up to me and said, I'm enjoying the beef between you two. So come at me, bro.
Nah, that's all right. Hip dropped it out of you.
Surly Carrigan lucky to just get, what did he get, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I thought it would be in that kind of 4 to 6 range. So I guess he got the lower end of that. Pretty nasty tackle, and it just shows why they're really trying to get it out of the game. Like, that's never going to end well. Another one that didn't get cited, and I think Tapane ended up in the bin for it. But, man, anytime you get a third guy coming in late, coming in even just below the waist, I'd love to see that gone. I think Tapane's one was really late, straight to the knees. And you're just asking for trouble there. So I think we could come down even harder on things like that. But yeah, probably in that 6-week range. But I think they've factored in finals footy, like Blake touched on Nathan Cleary before getting 5 weeks. If that was the last round of the regular season, would he get 5 weeks? I highly doubt it. So I think they realized they've got 5 weeks until finals. So that's the max we're going to give out, and we'll go from there.
Right, speaking of Cleary, him and his Panthers were totally outplayed for the second time this season by the Eels. Are they for real, Blake?
Oh, mate, it's hard to tell, but 3 of us on this panel, I think, were pretty adamant last week that the Eels were going to win. We know the one person that wasn't, sitting over there with the watch on.
Was it me?
Oh, what's that, me?
Okay,
The rest of us, I'm pretty sure the rest of us either had a bet on the Eels or were saying they're going to win this game. And look, before Cleary went off, they were in the lead. They'd bounce back and hit the lead. You think back to last year's semi-final, they had the momentum, I think 2 or 4 points down when the trainer stopped the game. Remember the big blow up? The trainer stopped the game for the Penrith player. They could have knocked Penrith out right then and there. So I think they got the wood over Penrith. And for me, why I picked them this year, once again, is because their last hurrah as a playing unit, but also that they live for big games. They do live for big games. In the semi-finals, I think they're going to be there and they're going to get up for these games. Madison was outstanding, and he's going to play a big part come semi-finals.
Just looking at the Panthers draw, now that it's a pretty hard draw coming home.
Yeah.
But now that both of their halves are out, it's an even harder draw.
Both.
Raiders. Sorry?
Did you say
Luai's-
both halves?
Luai's still out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Panthers. Sorry, I thought you
Yeah.
said Parramatta.
Yeah, Panthers. Sorry. So the Raiders in Canberra this week. Storm, Bunnies, Wars, Cowboys away. Like 2 weeks ago they had the minor premiership locked up, but Cowboys are 3 wins behind them. It's not a dead set.
It'll be interesting to see what hand Toddy Payton plays. Say what they play the Cowboys last round.
Yeah.
If it's all even and that winner decides who wins the minor premiership, do you play the players for the extra coin, or how do you see it? That'd be interesting. Hopefully plays out.
Because that Cowboys Dogs this week, you'd think they'd win. Roosters,
ours, Paul.
Warriors. Roosters, Warriors, Bunnies, and then Panthers. They've got a soft draw. I don't know. Just saying, what can we get? Do we have minor premiership, Ben? We must do.
Gone.
Gone.
Oh,
Although regular season.
yeah.
Cowboys, $17.
Oh.
To win the
There's
minor.
only three teams in the market: Panthers, Cowboys, Sharks.
Speaking of those futures
Sharks.
markets, Blake and his tribe of followers have forced James Tedesco into $51 for the Clive Churchill now, from 101 last week. So your boys are jumping on.
I think it was
I'm
just
telling
Blake.
you. Here they
Better
come.
check where the bets are coming from. They're all out of Papa Moore.
They have plenty.
We call him Blake the market mover, Ashford. But back to the Eels and Panthers. Moses is a big loss for the Eels, and I see they're only slight favourites this weekend. Can they get the job done without Moses in the next few weeks, Shirley?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how the tides turn for Parramatta fans. I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were booing Jake Arthurs. Now they're kind of top 4, maybe even top 8. Hopes rely on him. So, bit of karma for Para fans there. Obviously, Moses is a huge loss. I think they said 3 weeks with a broken finger. Yeah, it seems quite a while for a finger. Back in the old days, they would have just strapped her up. But maybe he comes back sooner if things are looking grim. But it's a huge game this weekend, taking on a proper Manly side as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, this is an interesting game for Parry. You never know what side's going to show up.
Right. Let's move it along. One thing we do know, Rabbitohs can't take a field goal. And I've had a look. Latrell has actually had a successful field goal this season. Nico Hines has had 4.
Oh.
4 successful field goals. So when they went to Golden Point at Shark Park, it should have been heavily weighted towards the Sharks, even though Latrell did he have 3 or 4 attempts at field goal?
3, I think.
And he really wasn't even close, and they didn't have any other plan. It was basically give it to Latrell and hope he kicks a field goal. There was no one else that they were going, if the pressure's coming for Latrell, can we go the other side and give it to player B? No, apparently. So do they have to sort that out before finals time, Gal?
they should definitely have a plan B. They should be able to split the ruck and go either way, and maybe even one in the back too.
Well,
Yes, simple answer to your question, yes.
yeah. Well, you got Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell left foot kickers, so you'd think you'd take Latrell Mitchell, and then on the other side you need Ilias to step up. He's a right foot kicker, so you're right, Carl. You bang, both of you are right. Bang, and then if they come for Latrell, swing it to the other side of the ruck, Ilias. But I don't know why they didn't try it. I guess because Latrell's kicked 40, 50-meter field goals to win the game before. You sort of put the ball in the best player's hands. Didn't work though, and happy punting for all those Sharky 1 to 12 lads.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Bring back Nathan Merritt.
Oh, it's against the Tigers, mate. Come
Oh,
on.
was it? Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
These two, you can't separate them. They're just
Mate.
at each other.
Absolute grub.
He said he didn't know that it was against
Yeah.
the Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the Tigers? Sorry.
Yeah,
I bet if you look at his notes now, it says bring up Nathan Merritt versus Tigers.
Tigers.
Yeah.
Well, you could have gone Adam Reynolds. He's kicked 50 field goals for South, but you go back to Nathan Merritt, who's kicked 1. Mate.
It was a memorable one, though. Memorable.
Yeah. Sure.
Zach, were you playing?
No, I was on the sideline.
Okay.
I think it might have got me my start the next week, but did hurt. Part of the team, mate. Part of the team.
There's always next week. Well, usually. Let's look at the results from last week. Manly 10, Roosters 20. Roosters do enough to
Sick
pick
beat.
up the win.
Sick beat for 13 plus punters.
Indeed.
Which
Your
I think
man,
we all-
Blake,
we all were.
ruined it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a sick beat, but the Roosters don't really care. They got the win.
Mm.
They're in the 8.
They are.
And they've got their own destiny. They've got their destiny in their own hands,
Yep.
which is the important part.
Yep.
Not the easiest of run-ins, although not quite as hard as some of the teams that they're challenging either. So I think what price did you quote? Was it $2 something
Can tell
to
you-
make the 8?
can tell you the-
270.
Yeah. And they've come in from that, obviously, off the back of a couple of results. What, like 270 on?
I can cash out for more than 100% of my stake, so that's a good thing.
Here we go.
Will not cash out though.
No,
Warriors Storm, we've pretty much covered that. Eels Panthers, same again. Here we go. Titans Raiders. A very high scoring game, Surly.
Yeah.
But the Raiders come away with the win. And
Another
if I
sick
remember,
beat.
another beat for 13 plus punters.
Yeah.
I was on the couch actually watching this with a mate who had 13 plus and 2 of the try scorers. So he was riding at home and just the heartbreak, His Sky Go was delayed as well. So I was getting messages about it before it happened. And I just said, mate, you strap in for this. Here we go. And he was absolutely heartbroken. But one guy, Hudson Young, playing unreal at the moment for the Raiders. He's definitely someone to look out for in a future man to wear the sky blue for mighty New South Wales.
Would the Titans be upset they let Fogarty go now?
Yes.
Yep. 100%.
Tell
Tell you,
very good player.
you should be upset. Us four, unless one of us took the $10 for the Titans to get the spoon. I think we spoke about it about a month and a half ago. We told the punters $10. We sort of looked at the draw and thought, no, the Tigers. I'm
I think
upset.
the Knights are still a chance too.
What are they?
They were all the bully at the beginning of the season as well.
Mm.
They were the ones that we actually took quite a bit of money on. I think they're at double figures, 10 or 11 bucks
14s, 10 to 11s or something.
at the beginning of the season to get the wooden spoon. So they're certainly not out of it. I mean, they got to travel to Tiger Town this week, and we know how good the Tigers are going. We'll get to that later anyway. Sharks, Rabbitohs, Shark Park, Golden Point. Nico can kick field goals. Latrell, he can, but not last weekend.
Who's a better buy this season, Nico or Adam Reynolds?
Nico.
They're both similar. I see a lot of Adam Reynolds in Nico, but I reckon he could be a better footballer in the end. But
I'm going to go Adam Reynolds because with Nico, he also had a Cam McGuinness came back from injury. Dale Finucane there. He had I think where they've come from is a lot harder.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I still think Adam Reynolds, but Nico very good.
Broncos, Tigers. Oh, Blake, just tell us how you were feeling.
Oh, mate, like I said, it was a bit cold, so I didn't quite get down into the budgies. But had the earring in, had a beer in hand, Tigers jersey on, cheering the boys home. I mean, got some great memories in Brisbane after the match and also winning close games there. Look, I think they've got a good record against the Broncos now as well. The last 4 or 5 they've won. So Brisbane's always a good ground for the Tigers, and mate, I was pumped on the couch.
Tigers arguably should be 2 in a row after the last couple of weeks.
Should be fighting off for 9th spot if we're being honest.
That's your destiny every year,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
We're coming for it. We're coming for it.
If someone said to you at the start of the season, will you take 9th spot right now, Blake, would you take it?
Oh yes, 100%. Because I remember I tipped them to come last. My mood's changed massively.
Apparently, they play that in the sheds before every game, and there's a poster view on the wall.
Bulldogs, 24-10 over the hopeless Knights.
Bulldogs can score points now. And yeah, I guess you were very happy after this. You
I
took
was.
13 plus, didn't you?
I took 13 plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
The game against the Warriors next week will be it'll be a good game.
There will be points.
There will be points.
Yeah. The Fox on a Friday night. Whew. And the Cowboys. Oh boy, the Dragons. They're just pretenders, aren't they? I mean, they're still in with a chance of making the 8, but if you look at it, they're no chance of making the 8 early.
Nah, I actually thought they were going to put up a decent fight in this game after their result the week before, but Cowboys blew them off the park. They probably had a point to prove after being a bit disappointing against the Tigers. Old Nanai again, another double. That guy scores tries for fun. And I think having Ruben Cotter back in the mix as well, once he gets back up to full fitness over the next few weeks, we'll see how important he is. He makes them that top 2 side.
Yeah, I think it was a bad decision as well I don't know who made it from the Dragons, but to sack both assistant coaches instead of possibly the coach.
Yeah.
I think it's a race now, Holbrook, O'Brien, and Griffin to see who's the next gone.
Sounds like they took a leaf out of the New Zealand Rugby Union. Sacked the assistants, the coach. I don't know.
I just want to note in our group during the week, Surly said, surely it's a matter of time before Jeremiah Nanai is under $2 for anytime try scorer. Well, Surly jinxed it. He's $1.91.
Oh,
Again,
What's he 2 or more? That's where the value is now.
I don't know. We'll keep talking and I'll find it.
Where should we go? Let's have a preview of some games this weekend, eh?
6:25, 2 or more.
Take that.
Thursday night game. Oh, and it's a bit of a blockbuster at the SCG.
Mm-hmm.
Roosters taking on the Broncos. Broncos hurting after that loss to the Tigers. Roosters starting to get their season back on track inside the 8. Plenty to play for here. Statman, what do you got for us?
Roosters have won 4 of the last 5 against the Broncos and 6 of the last 10. The average winning margin in the last 2 matches is only 2.5 points, but the average winning margin in their last 4 wins is 27.5. So there's a couple of real big blowouts there. I think there was a 59-0 in there. There have been 5 victories of 18 or more in the last 10. Roosters have 3 of those 5. The Chooks average 27.8 points against the Broncos in their last 10 and 35.5 in their last 5. Broncos average just a tick under 18 in the last 10 and the same in the last 5 versus the Roosters. The over the total points has hit in 4 of the last 5 and 6 of the last 10. And the average total in the last 10 is 45.5. And the last 5 is just a tick under 53. This week, 41.5.
Shirley, where do we go?
Yeah. If Paddy Carrigan was in, then I'd be thinking about the Broncos seriously there, but I think that that's a massive loss for them. He's the leader of that young pack, and I don't think they're going to be able to match it with them. They get Cobbo back, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough against the Roosters at the moment. They lose Lindsay Collins, who is their enforcer as well, but I think they'll be good enough to get the job done, probably in that 1 to 12 range, and like Paul said, sorry, it'll go overs.
You right,
No,
mate?
you are right, Surly. I think Carl just read off Paul's run sheet for the
Yeah.
day.
Hey.
Almost threw your
Don't-
name in there too. Unofficial
Yeah.
stats, man. Sorry,
Yeah.
mate.
Don't start that.
Blake, are
Um,
you thinking along the same lines? Roosters 1 to 12?
yeah, the Roosters always trouble me at SCG. I mean, I don't know why, but they seem to not go as good this year anyway. They have won the games, but don't look as good as they have. The problem for me is trying to get Joe Manu involved. Now, it sort of messed him up a bit on the weekend because he was leaving his centres to go infield and get the ball, and then when they went to shift, he wasn't there at times, and it slowed him down. I don't know if I'd rather see him at 6 than Kirill Walker, one of them, to miss out. But I don't think it's going to happen. So, look, I think it's going to be like you said, Paul, a blockbuster, close game, and I think maybe the Roosters could be a field goal or maybe a goal kick in it. 2 points, 1 to 12. I think it's going to be real close.
Have they just picked up a Tiger?
Yeah.
Gilda?
Gilda, yeah.
And is that immediate or is that next season?
No, that's immediate. I think he's on loan for the rest of the year. Tigers are loaning everyone out at the moment. It appears they've given up.
I don't think I don't think Gildard's. I think he's going back to the UK. But even if you had Suwali in the centres and put Momirovski on the wing, I like to see Suwali get some more ball. I don't know. I think they win, Paul.
I think the Roosters might do the Broncos here.
Ooh, wow.
Nothing more than just a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Stats sort of back me up too. The last 3 home games, the Roosters, they won 34-16, 58-12, and 36-4 against the Broncos.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with Blake. The SCG used to be like a gimme game for the Roosters. Other teams would turn up there and they'd either just be slightly off kilter because of because the shape of the outfield. But it's sort of slightly dissipated in the last sort of even just season and a half sort of thing. So I still think they've enough there. Carrigan out is a huge out for the Broncos, and it upsets the balance in that on their bench as well. So yeah, I'm leaning towards the Roosters, who really need to pick a win up here because they don't want to be relying on the last week of the season to get into the 8. They want to have it all locked up before then. So I quite like the Roosters 1 to 12 myself.
if they do put it on them, don't be Teddy Train will be running wild in the SCG. Doot. Get aboard.
Well, our next game, we travel up to the Sunshine Coast, to the Sunshine Coast Stadium, where the Rabbitohs host the Warriors. Statman, tell us why the Rabbitohs are going to win this one.
Can we just pick another game? It's not good. Bunnies have won 6 straight and 9 of the last 10 against the Warriors. The over has hit in 4 of the last 5 and 8 of the last 10 and 10 of the last 13 between these two. So plenty of points. I think the last, what was it, 32-30? Should have won that game. Average total in the last 10 is just a tick under 54 points. In the last 5, it's just a tick under 58. And the total this week is 44.5. So that screams overs to me. Warriors average score in the last 10 versus the Bunnies is 18.4. The Bunnies average score in the last 10 versus the Warriors, 35.5. And the average winning margin in this fixture is 19.4 in the last 10.
Well, none of those stats are very bright for Warriors supporters. I'm surprised you didn't come up with stat like you did last week, where and Cam George has a steak and cheese pie for lunch on a Friday before a Saturday game on the Sunshine Coast, the Warriors score 44 points.
We didn't actually discuss that, Cam and I, but or maybe next week we'll see what his pre-match routine is.
I know someone who can shine a bright light on this game. Surly, you'll be able to tell us why the Warriors are a chance of winning.
Yeah, well, I'd prefer rather than look at the stats, just look back to the last time these two played each other and the most recent 40 minutes, and you'd see that it was all one-way traffic to the Warriors. I think it was, 30-4 or close to in that second half. So absolute domination, and I think the boys will pick things up from there. Ewan Aitken back in the centres, looking to show Wayne that that's where he wants to play his footy. So a big day from him. And yeah, the boys are going to come out and just take it to the bunnies and show that Latrell's not all he's talked up to be unless he's in the sky blue of New South Wales.
Blake, provide a wee bit of balance to this conversation, please.
Talking about Latrell, should be a power play. Hopefully, Latrell to score 20+ points, because I could see him getting a double and possibly kicking about 4, 5, up to 8, maybe 8 goals.
Field goals.
I've this got a scoreline of possibly 40-20, South's favour. I think Bunnies finishing that close to the Sharks at Shark Park. I think the Warriors are named. But I can't see the Rabbits losing this at all. I was the first to say I didn't think they'd make the 8, and I'm here to say I was wrong. They proved me wrong, and they're starting to look good. Now, Saturday's the only day Sunshine Coast this week that is raining. I've checked. Hopefully the rain doesn't stop the points, because I do think South Sydney have a lot to put on.
If you ask Searley nicely, he might include that Latrell Mitchell to score 20+ points in his Searley power plays.
I'll think about it. I do have a reputation to uphold, but I could chuck it in there right at the bottom and put in brackets Blake's power play.
Looks like it might get vetoed by Carl anyway before it gets to the bookies. So
Won't make it through to the keeper, that one. No.
Carl, you're obviously on the Rabbitohs this weekend.
No, I don't know.
There he is.
No.
Come on.
Don't do this to me, Carl.
No, I'm sticking solid, Silly.
Good man.
Boys, they showed something last week against the Storm. Sunshine Coast, home game for the Warriors, essentially. Like I said, I like that back line. Aitken in the centres, tighten things up a little bit out there. SJ coming into some form, as you boys know he can. Egan, possibly the best 6 we have in the moment. He looked good in the halves last week.
He did.
Yeah. Sticking solid.
Come on, Paul.
Oh, just give me the bunnies all day. Fair dinkum. Crikey. This will be one-way traffic.
I think Paul was the only guy at the club rooms cheering when Harry Grant dotted down. He was going berserk.
Yeah, look, we had to tell him to get away, because Cam George wanted to punch
Cam
him.
wasn't impressed.
No. Cam George just wanted to punch me in the face, full stop. To be fair, there were a few people lining up behind him to join in as well. No, I'm on the bunnies this weekend.
Bunnies, you say, Blake, that they're almost a lock for the 8. They've got a very tough run in. It seems like all of these teams play each other. The top sort of 6.
Yeah.
You've got the Eels, Panthers, Cowboys, Chooks.
Except for the Raiders. They don't.
Yeah, but I can't see, like, the Raiders, they're 4 points behind the Bunnies. I mean, like I said that about a month ago, I think the Rabbits are the team to drop out for the Roosters, but
Raiders only 2 points behind the Bunnies.
no, I just can't. I don't know. Well, I did say, well, then if they do miss the 8, I said it about a month ago to get on. So there you go.
He's covered all bases.
Yeah,
Just sprayed the board.
All right. Speaking of the Raiders, that's the third game that we'll look at this weekend. They're at GIO Stadium, taking on a halvesless Panthers squad. Although they've played without Luai or Cleary during the season, the Panthers. But, boy, we get to the business end, and they're heading down to Canberra to take on the Raiders. It's going to be tough, surely, Statman.
Yeah, the stats suggest Panthers here. They've won three straight against the Raiders and 7 of the last 10. They've won 2 of the last 3 in Canberra and 5 of the last 11. The average total points in the last 10 between these two is 45.5. The last 2 is 42.5. This week it's 40.5. Panthers average total in the last 5, just a tick under 25 versus the Raiders. Same when we stretch it out to 10 games, whereas the Raiders is 15 in the last 5 games and 19 in the last 10. Average winning margin is about 19 in the last 5, and 4 of the last 5 winning margins have been 16 plus. With all that said, I think the Raiders are a bet this week at home with no Cleary and Luai for the Panthers.
Okay, Surly, you like the Green Machine this weekend?
Yeah, it's a hard one, I guess, because there's still so much talent in that Penrith side. And saying that, though, the way this Canberra 4-pack's playing, they definitely have the talent to match them through the middle there as well. So, yeah, if I was having a punt on it, I'd probably be chucking in the Raiders just because of the run of form they're on at the moment, and they'll be looking to target those halves. We know what we'll get from Sean O'Sullivan. It's more salmon that we don't know as much about, but I think they're just going to miss that creativity in the halves. I think O'Sullivan, he's more of just a guy that'll plug corners and get them in the right part of the field. But yeah, that Cleary Luai combo is just too much with both out. So I'll go the Raiders, but wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers still pull it off. I think it's going to be really close.
How good was it last season when they could bring in a guy called Matt Burton when any of the halves were injured? In fact, anyone in the back line was injured. They could bring him in and slot him in from any number from 1 to 7. They don't have him this time. So are you leaning towards the home side, Blake?
No, I'm not. Look, the Raiders are rolling, and it makes you wonder what the Raiders season could have been like, or it still could be, but where they would be sitting now if Fogarty wasn't injured for the start of the year, because he's playing some great footy and got them rolling. I just think that with those halves, Penrith's footy gets stripped back, and now you're going to start playing off Appy, Coruscant, and you're going to start playing off Isaiah Yeo. So I think you'll find once Papali and Tapani go off, I think they're just going to go straight through the middle and just keep ploughing away. I think a lot of the footy will come off Coruscant and Yeo, and I think the Panthers could win this by a field goal. But very close game, Panthers 1-12.
He's very, very keen on field goals this
Loves a
weekend.
field goal,
I like that.
You know something we
Close
don't.
games. Close games.
Close game. That man?
I like the Raiders this week.
I can't disagree.
Good form at home.
I got them challenging for that 8, so
They've got more to play for at the moment than the Panthers.
True.
right. You want to have a quick review of what happened last week in terms of punting?
Oh, we're all up.
Oh,
There's a collective. If you follow the boys in, collectively we're up $1,000 last week.
Nice.
So well done us.
good positive energy.
Good positive energy. Blake won the week. He's up $416.
He
Nice.
did say after All-Star week, boom, flies home.
Surly second and 273. Paul 213, and I was a measly 112
Overall,
But you're in the green
Overall.
cup.
Sure am, pal.
Hey.
You can't keep me down forever, mate. Little bump in the road, all right? Surly flying. He's up $1,300 in the season. He did, he has missed a few weeks at the start, but we'll let that aside.
The tough weeks. The tough weeks.
Paul knocking on the door of 1,000. He's at just a tick over $900 up.
That's Paul.
Blake almost $600 up, and I am about $130 up.
let's get to this week, and we'll start with the guy at the top of the table. Surly, what's your best head-to-head?
Sharkies, $1.31.
Yep.
Like-
Double down on that. Sharkies, $1.31.
Roosters, $1.60.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now I've got the Sharks, $1.31.
Coming for you, boys.
Your best multi-anchor, Surly.
I've gone boring. Storm 13 plus.
I don't know why I said Wall to your best head to head because I've gone Anchor Roosters minus 4.5, $1.90.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa, Larry.
Wow, he said, but he's turned the corner. As he said, he's now running downhill after having to struggle uphill for the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he's got his feet all stuck in a little bit out in front of him.
Wow.
Watch out.
Statman, what do you got for us?
Multi-anchor, Melbourne minus 17.5. $1.90 versus Titans.
I've just gone with the Tigers head-to-head at $1.50 up against the your best total.
Went
Surely.
Warriors Bunnies over 44.5, and the Warriors will be scoring the majority of them.
I went the same game. I went the points three-way over 50, $2.70.
Same. Over 50, $2.70.
I went Dragons under 15.5 points at $1.87 against the Sharks. The Sharks have been very, very nasty at home against teams that aren't very good. And I don't think the Dragons are very good. So, yeah, that's why I've backed the Dragons under 15.5 points against the Sharks, $1.87. Right, your best roughie, Surly.
Gone the best centre in the comp, Ewan Aitken, anytime try scorer, paying $5.
I've gone the Eels to win between 7 and 12 points, $8.
I've got Eels 13 plus and over 42.5, $6.50.
Ooh.
Oh.
I've gone Cody Walker 2 or more tries against the Warriors up on the Sunshine Coast at $8.50.
Great
I do believe he
punting.
scored a hat trick up north against the Warriors a season or two ago, and I think he's
No one cares.
I
Paul.
think he's about ready to go boom, boom, boom. Cody Walker 2 tries,
Great
$8.50.
punting, Paul.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy.
Once again, we've got same game claims and bonus backs on all NRL games this week.
You do?
And we've got the Oval Ball Mega Multi-Buster as well.
Mhm.
Have you got a same game claim for us?
Do you want our winning team and margin bets first?
Oh, crikey. Don't forget them. The first game, the Thursday night game, the Roosters Broncos.
You need me here,
Oh,
Paul.
I don't need you here.
Who's going, me or Sealy?
Surly.
Roosters 1 to 12.
Yep, 1 to 12.
Roosters 13 plus. 310.
Roosters 1 to 12. Next game was the Warriors, the Rabbitohs Warriors. I get a feeling I know where Surly's going.
Yeah, Warriors 1 to 12.
Blake,
Rabbits 13 plus.
Warriors 1 to 12.
That hurts.
it hurt.
I
That
know. Because
he knows he
really
wants
hurt.
to-
He didn't want to say it.
He wants to catch. He wants to catch us, but he knows he has to
Rabbitohs
stay loyal.
13 and over.
I was just blinking. I don't know what you're talking about.
And the final game was the Raiders Panthers.
Raiders 1 to 12.
Panthers 1 to 12.
Raiders 1 to 12.
Raiders 1 to 12.
340.
340 for the Raiders 1 to 12. Right.
Come on, let's stick together.
Give us the same game multi, will you?
Warriors plus 16.5. Kossi to score and Johnson to score 550.
Surly.
I went Nofaluma for 2, the Chiefs to score, and the Storm 13 plus, paying 11s.
I've gone South 13 plus. Johnson to score 2. Latrell to score. Damien Cook to score. And Cody Walker to score. $34.
Whoa,
All the big
he's up.
names.
He's up.
Did you
Jesus.
say Sean Johnson or Alex Johnston?
Alex Johnston, mate. Alex Johnston scored 2. 34. So I thought it would have been a bit more with all the big guns, but they are,
That's
Try
poor.
scorers.
Well, yeah. Right, you got an oval ball multi for us, Carl?
Rattled after.
Come
that.
on, stat man.
Chooks head to head, Storm minus 17.5, Warriors plus 17.5, and the Raiders head to head, $12.30.
Surly?
My one's out the gate here. She's paying a lot. I've gone the Hammer to score, Brighton the Accorder to score, the Cheese, and then you and Aitken. That's $111.
Ooh,
Ooh.
the
Wow.
hammer. Is he off the bench? No.
Nah, wing.
Ah, I like it.
Nice, Surly.
Like it.
Yeah, I've gone just simple for the punters. Just an $8 shot. Cowboys, Sharks, Panthers, Storm, Roosters, all head to head, and the Bunnies 13 plus.
Again, that last
This
one's
is
not
bad.
necessary. Yeah.
This is as bad as this guy now. Eh? You spend way too much time with him.
I don't, mate. Just bet with
Can
the
you-
head.
Can you read that out again, please, Blake?
Cowboys, Sharks, Panthers, Storm, Roosters, Rabbits 13 plus.
Will not qualify for a oval ball multi-buster because
Oh.
all legs need to be $1.20 or more.
Yeah.
Storm. Storm can't be in
Storm.
there.
I'll put the
Bunnies
Storm
can't
13
be
plus.
in
Put
over
the
yet.
Storm 13 plus.
Nice,
Storm
Carl. Way
13.
to bring him back a peg. I like it.
Yeah.
You
But
gotta
I
keep-
do that so you allow the punters, you know, not everyone reads the fine print. So now they know after listening to go over $1.20.
It's educational.
Nice. I think someone was fairly close with their oval ball multi last week. Someone put the Knights in for some reason. I don't know why.
That's me.
Well, that's it.
I found a power play if you're interested.
Yeah, yeah.
Latrell.
In the Chooks game, Manu and Tessie New each to score a try, 650.
Ooh.
I'm going to try and get that Latrell Mitchell 20 plus points into the power play somehow, Blake.
I'll chuck it in there. I'll chuck it in there with a Blake in brackets.
I'll try and swerve it past Statman here, and punters can have a go.
Is it because would only be like $1.05 or? Yeah,
We better
mate,
call this show
I'm on
now.
today.
Wrap her up, Paul. Wrap her up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or at least Jay in the background just throw Blake out the back.
Yeah, boot him.
I think we've done it.
We have.
We've done another show. Guys, thanks a lot for taking part again. Once again, punters, if you're listening, follow Blake or follow Surly, because
Yeah.
Surly's at the top of the table and Blake's turned the corner. He's coming home with a wet sail. I think follow either of those two with your punts. You'll get pretty close.
Given it's a podcast, you'd hope they're listening. You said punters if you're listening. Otherwise, what are we doing
today?
Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Oh, wow. Yeah,
And-
shots fired.
And if you are listening, keep an eye out for some opportunities to win some tickets to the club rooms.
What, for the Bulldogs
the
game?
club rooms for the Bulldogs game next week. On our
Is that a Friday night?
It is. Head
Friday
across to
night.
our social channels.
All right. And what is that? Friday the
12th. 12th.
It's not Black Friday, is it? No.
No.
That's good. Warriors might be a chance.
Red, blue, and green
Um,
Friday.
Okay, next week.
Don't worry.
Anyway, thanks guys for joining, and thanks to you for listening. And we'll be back again next week for another edition of The Advantage Line.